Yeah. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Welcome to Thursday Night Football with Kelvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. Wow. Do we have a show for you tonight? Wow. I'm telling you, it was a tough outing last week. A lot of teams just surprising everybody. I mean, how about those Jacksonville Jaguars? Minshew just coming alive, and the Browns becoming the Browns. I mean, the Browns look terrible. The Titans squeaking it out. Squeaking it out on Monday Night Football. And the Buccaneers just looking befuddled with their offense. But I think they will be turning it around this next game. The Panthers limp into Tampa Bay this week. And the Broncos played, lights out Monday night. They almost beat the Titans. They almost beat them. I felt bad. The Broncos looked good. Drew Lock looked great that game. And man, the defense on the Broncos, watch out for the defense, I'm telling you. And they're going against the Steelers. The Steelers with their defense. Wow, that is going to be a low-scoring game for sure. The Rams high on their win. High on their win against Dallas this last Sunday night. I'm telling you, I called that game. I said the Rams would beat Dallas, and I was right. And I'm telling you something. The Rams look like a great team. Aaron Donald bowled through 3 defenders in one time, and he almost got to Dak Prescott. Dak didn't know it hit him. And some reporter that week said that Aaron Donald was an average lineman. Average lineman just knocks down these 270-pound guys like they're nothing. 300-pound linemen of the Dallas Cowboys made them look like little rag dolls. Oh my God, Aaron Donald's a force, and they're going into Philadelphia on a high, and Philadelphia's worried already. They go into Washington, which I called Philadelphia beating Washington, but man, that Washington defense, wow, 8 sacks. I'm telling you, against the Eagles, guys. Eagles' offensive line is pretty good. But man, that defensive line, the front 7 of Washington is just dynamic. Tell you, Chase Young, oh God, man, I'm telling you something. The Washington Redskins, they look great. They're in first place in that division. Everyone's thought they would be 0-16 or 1-15. Man, with that defense, they could get into playoffs. I don't like Dwayne Haskins, but man, they could definitely get in the playoffs. Wow, that's interesting. San Francisco 49ers, they're just limping. They got a lot of injuries, and they lost to Arizona. Arizona's a good team this year, especially with D-Hop, and Kyler Murray playing out of his mind. Wow, I'm telling you, the San Francisco 49ers, they just got beat in their own home. Yeah, I had San Fran winning that game, but no. But now San Francisco goes into the New York Jets. The Jets looked pathetic last week. I picked that game, the Bills over the Jets. That was an easy pick. And this game, I'm sorry, the Jets are just looking, befuddled, and they have nothing going for them. And, then the 49ers are just pissed off because they lost their first game, especially at home. I'm telling you, the 49ers is going to beat the Jets. And then we have the Buffalo Bills going into Miami. Wow. Come on. The Bills are going to beat Miami in Miami. Bills will be 2-0. Miami, they're okay. They went into New England. They lost. They're at home, but I just don't see the Miami Dolphins beating the Bills in this one. The Minnesota Vikings going into the Indianapolis Colts Stadium. And the Vikings, I picked the Green Bay Packers to beat the Vikings. I surely did. And going into, I told everyone Rodgers is going to have a huge day. What happened? He had a huge day. You better listen to me, you fantasy football nuts. And I tell you, the Colts really blew it against Jacksonville. This is going to be a real tough game. Both teams are smarting from 0-1 season so far. And, the Minnesota Vikings, they don't want to go 0-2. And the Colts, they certainly don't want to go 0-2. I'm telling you, this is going to be a pivotal game. It's going to be almost like a tie at the end. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a rock and sock 'em. I see Phillip Rivers pulling this out in the end. And I'm going to give this one to the Colts. Believe it or not, Minnesota will be 0-2. The Lions, wow. I mean, they should have beat the Bears, guys. They should have beat them. Swift drops a pass in the end zone with 6 seconds left. It was in his hands. It wasn't a hard catch. It was like right near his midsection. It was right there. He dropped the ball with 6 seconds left. Stafford just had an instrumental, the final minute drive. He was just phenomenal, and the Lions became the Lions. And unfortunately, I have no idea. That team is it's either the refs or the players just disappointing that team. They need some voodoo or some type of witch doctor to go out to Detroit and do something to that Lion team. And they're going to be marching into Green Bay after Green Bay just annihilating the Minnesota Vikings in their home. And now the Lions have to, after a disappointing loss, have to go into Green Bay, and Green Bay's on the high in Lambeau. Wow, that's going to be an exciting game. The Lions, unfortunately, is going to end up 0-2. Packers are going to take this game. Packers are better than everyone thought they were going to be. And I told everyone this. Atlanta Falcons going into the Cowboys. Cowboys did not look good at all against the Rams. They had spurts, but man, I'm telling you, that's the reason why Dak Prescott has not signed a contract. That's why they did not want to sign him. They wanted to sign him on their own terms. And Dak, you should have taken it, man, because I don't think any other team's going to be offering you that kind of money from now on after this year. If you don't just step up your game, Dak Prescott, you won't have a team next year. I mean, even the redhead might even step in this year if the Cowboys lose again. I mean, Atlanta Falcons 0-1. Atlanta looked flat too. They had Gurley. Gurley scored a touchdown. I told everyone to play Gurley. They came back at the end, but I had Atlanta winning that game. I thought they beat Seattle, but Seattle, geez, man, I mean, Russell Wilson, all-star, all-American, all-world. I mean, Russell Wilson is just, I mean, he's like Lamar Jackson. He's like Mahomes. They're all in that same category of entertaining and just phenomenal. I don't know how he does it. He just does it. He's very accurate with his passes. He gets out of everything. He's a great scrambler. I mean, that guy, the kid is good. He's so good. And that team, Carson's back. Hopefully he'll stay healthy. And they're going to go far this year. The Falcons, they just looked flat. Dallas looked flat. 2 flat teams going against each other. 0-1. I just see that. I think the Dallas Cowboys were definitely going to step up and win their first game of the season against the Falcons. It'll be a close game, but I'm going to give that one to Dallas. The next game, the Giants look terrible. Their offensive line, oh my God. And the Bears came back. Mitchell Trubisky, Bears got lucky in the end, I can tell you that. But Trubisky looked good. They're going into Chicago. I'm going to give this to Chicago. We have the Washington football team, 1-0, on top of their division. Wow. Going against the Cardinals 1-0, and they're on top of their division. I'm telling you, the Cardinals they're tied. Anyway, the Cardinals and the Washington football team. This is going to be interesting because Washington, they are really good, and they're going to have to get after Kyler Murray. That's going to be tough, very tough. So this is going to be a great game. I think that the Cardinals are just way too talented. The Cardinals have more talent on their offense than Philadelphia, that's for sure. I'm going to give this to the Cardinals. They're going to end up 2-0. Wow. And Washington football team 1-1 after the end of this game. The Kansas City Chiefs come into SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers won. I mean, that was a huge surprise. Wow. And the Chiefs 1-0. So this game, the Chiefs, I'm sorry, Chargers just don't have what it takes to beat the Chiefs. Probably it'll be a close game. It might be 7-8 point by the Chiefs, might even be more. Chiefs are just phenomenal guys. I just don't. I mean, they're going to beat the Chargers. Sorry, Chargers. My hometown, Los Angeles. Okay. I think this is probably, there's going to be the next two games are the great games of the whole weekend. This is my opinion. The Ravens going to the Texans. The Texans are 0-1. They just looked lethargic against Kansas City, but of course they were playing Kansas City, mind you. Kansas City is just on top of their game. Same with the Ravens. They're going to go into Texans. The Ravens are going to be end up 2-0, Texans 0-2. That's two tough games for the Texans. The Kansas City and Baltimore. I mean, whoever's making that schedule, the Texans are going, thank you. I think they'll come out better this week. Watson will come out better, definitely. But Lamar Jackson, you just can't stop this kid. I mean, sorry guys, you just can't stop him. That Raven team, I think their run game is going to really shine. How can you stop that tight end? I mean, Andrews. And then they try to stop the tight end. What do you have? You have Hollywood Brown going. And now you have Snell. I mean, and he goes on and on. D.K. Dobbins scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's a rookie. I mean, this team is just loaded with talent. And their defense is so good. I definitely the Ravens in this one over the Texans. And the next game, the Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, what a game. And Patriots are going into Seattle. I mean, this is going to be one of those games. I mean, I can't wait to see how New England's going to stop, Wilson and company. And then Cam Newton, man, wow. Cam, he's back. He had a much better game than Mr. Brady did, that's for sure. And Cam, he's back, and this is going to be an interesting game. Belichick is a genius. He can take any game and he'll just slow it down, and the Patriots will stay in it. Slow it down. He'll kill this. I'm telling you, Belichick is a genius, and I think the Seattle Seahawks should definitely win this game, but I think the Patriots are going to go in and they're going to win a last-second field goal, and the Patriots are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Oh, my God. I cannot believe that in Seattle the Patriots are going to upset the Seattle's. I could never even think how the Patriots are going to upset. Can you believe that? Upset. That's just amazing. It blows my mind for me to even say something like that. But I think the Patriots are going to beat Seattle. Then we have the lone Monday night game. The Saints look just amazing, but they're without Thomas. And then now the Raiders are going into the Las Vegas Raiders' new stadium. Of course, there are no fans, but still, it's going to be interesting. The Raiders look great. Jacobs look good. Waller looks great. Carr looks great. Henry Ruggs III, I mean, that guy could just fly. I mean, the Raiders are just stunning, and they're 1-0, and the Saints are 1-0. I think the Raiders are really going to give the Saints a run for the money. I mean, the Saints are really going to, they're outdoors, remember. Whenever the Saints go outdoors, it's just, it can be indoors, outdoors in Las Vegas Raiders, but I think they'll probably make it outdoors. Maybe. It matters how hot it is in Las Vegas. If it's really, really hot, they'll close the ceiling and it'll be indoors. So I'm just going to give this to the Raiders. I think there's going to be an upset. The Raiders are going to upset the Saints in their brand new stadium. That's going to be an awesome game. And tonight's game, I didn't really call tonight's game. I just blew over it. The Browns look like the Browns. I mean, the Browns look terrible. And the Bengals, they didn't look too good either. I mean, Burrows didn't look a world beater. At the end, he did well. I mean, A.J. Green, he did push off in that touchdown, but it was a perfect pass. I mean, he started looking good. But, now Baker Mayfield, that Brown team is just loaded, guys, just loaded. And that's tonight. This is going to be a pivotal game. And the Browns defense, where were they last week? Of course, they were playing the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, any defense, I don't care how good you are, you will go up against the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs. And the next week, you're going to say, where did that defense go? It's just going to happen. It's just, it's inevitable, I'm sorry. Both defenses are just phenomenal. So this is a tough game. At home, Browns, Cleveland, Bengals, oh my gosh, Cincinnati Bengals. Burrows. Oh boy, I don't like Baker Mayfield. I just don't like him. And I do like Burrows, but the Bengals, this is a tough call tonight. I'm going to give it to the Bengals tonight. Yeah, I think the Browns will be 0-2. And the Bengals will finish out 1-1. I think this is the time where the Bengals could shine. Burrows was near the end. He was hot. I think he's going to get back on that field and he's going to have that confidence. He's going to start throwing it to A.J. Green. A.J. Green's going to have a huge game. Wow. Okay, guys. Seriously, it's going to be a high-scoring game tonight. High scoring. The Browns, the Bengals play those teams. I don't know if you really could play Baker Mayfield. He'll make more mistakes than he could throw a couple touchdowns too. I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I really do. And then you have the Jaguars going into the Titans. The Titans squeaking out a win. The Jags having an upset win. Just the Jags beating Philadelphia the way they did. Minshew, he's for real. The Titans looked bottlenecked. I mean, that Jaguar defense, there's no way they're going to stop, there's just no way they're going to stop the running attack of the Titans. That's not going to happen, guys. It's just not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. It won't happen, The Jags, I'm predicting tonight's game is going to be probably a high-scoring game. I'm giving the Jackson. I think the Titans are going to, just unleash in this game. They're going to unleash, meaning they're going to unleash their offense. Their running games. He's going to break tackles, and they're just not going to. The Jags are going to try to score. I mean, Minshew's going to score, he's going to throw a couple touchdowns. That's all he's going to be doing. He's going to be trying to catch up on this game. That's for sure. There's going to be a lot of, 70, 80-yard runs and passes. I just know it. I just feel it, going into the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's going to pull this one out. They're going to be 2-0 on the Titans. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're going to look good tonight, guaranteed. The Buccaneers, they need a win against the Panthers. They really need a win. But if they show up, that offense shows up like they did against the Saints, it's going to be a hard call. And the Carolina Panthers, they allowed people to score on them, and that Tampa Bay offense in Tampa Bay. And the defense of Tampa Bay, they're good too. They just have to stop McCaffrey, and that's going to be tough. But, they do have other weapons, the Panthers too. So I think it's going to be somewhat of a high-scoring game. I'm definitely going to give this one to Tampa Bay. They're going to win their first game of the season. The Panthers will be 0-2. The Steelers and the Broncos, I already told you that. Definitely that game's going to be a tough game. The Broncos just played lights out. The Steelers, Ben is definitely back. He's at his home. He's at his home. I think it's going to be tough. Both defenses are just stout. It's going to be a low scoring game. In the end, the Broncos, I think the Broncos are going to pull it out at the end. I really think they will with a field goal. They have a really great field goal kicker, and so does the Steelers. But I think the Broncos are going to pull this one out in an upset over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Don't hate me, Pittsburgh fans. Don't hate me, but I think the Broncos are going to upset you in your home area. The LA Rams are going to be 2-0 after they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in their homes. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a good game. Trust me, Wentz is going to throw. If you have Carson Wentz, play him. Jared Goff, play him. Woods, play him. This is going to be a good game. If you have the defense of the Steelers or the Broncos, I would probably play them. I would play the big winner. I think will be the San Francisco 49ers. They're pissed. Their defense is going to be all over the Jets. And, they're going to go into the New York Jets and beat them. Like I said, Buffalo's going to beat the Dolphins. It's going to be a good second week. The first week you got to know who is good and who's going to shine. There's some surprises. Big surprises. Big surprise is the Browns falling flat. I was very surprised with that. And they're going to get beat again. It's just terrible. But the Browns should win this game. They really should beat this game. But I'm giving the Bengals on an upset. And the Titans will beat the Jags. Jags will come down to earth on this one. But they'll Minshew. He's a great. If you have him, play him. The Bucks, they're going to be 1-1, and the Panthers 0-2. And the Broncos going to end up 1-1 after this game. The Los Angeles Rams 2-0 after this game. San Francisco 49ers will go to 1-1. The Jets will be probably the most pathetic team in the National Football League. I had the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was wrong. The Jags, they do have that young team. They're gonna show spurts. They're gonna have terrible games. They're gonna have good games, and that's what the youth is all about. But trust me, you can't count those guys out. You just can't count them out. Bills over the Dolphins. That's an easy pick. It just goes on, peeps. On and on. Make sure you play Mozart from San Francisco. They're not going to be able to stop him. Allen from the Bills. Brown and the Bills. The Bills are just loaded. They have great defense too. Play both Cousins and Rivers. I tell you something. Cook's going to come alive. This is going to be a good game, guys. This is going to be one of your premier games. The Lions, I feel so sorry for them, but they're going to play the Packers, and the Packers look like world beaters. The Lions did come back last week. Stafford is back. Warning. That's not going to be an easy game. Not going to be an easy game at all. The Cowboys, they're not good. They're not good, but Falcons didn't look good at all. So they both look flat. The Chicago Bears will be 2-0. The boys will be 1-1. The Washington football team, that's a tough game. Like I said, it's going to be a tough game, but the Cardinals will pull it out in the end. Chiefs will pull it out. The Ravens, the Patriots, and the Raiders. Guys, think about it. It's going to be a fun week. The defenses are going to prevail this week. The Ravens, anyone on the Ravens, play them. Anyone on Kansas City Chiefs, play them. You could play the Washington defense. Definitely. I mean, it's going to be a low-scoring game. Trust me, it's going to be, And it's not going to be so easy with Kyler. And, the New York Giants, just terrible guys. I don't know what's going on with that team. I feel so sorry for Daniel Jones. Man, I do. This is going to be one of those Thursday night football games, guys. It's just going to be one of those games. I mean, will the Browns on paper show up, or will they just lay a Brown nice football game where they're just adequate? They make it up to the stadium. They walk on the field and they somewhat play. Or will they play? If they play their lights out, they're going to beat the Bengals. Period. If they do that, I don't see them doing that. I don't know. Something about Baker Mayfield I just don't like. His passes are just, he's not a rookie anymore. He's just not a rookie. Those passes last week, he was missing badly. It wasn't like he was missing like 1 or 2 yards. He was making some of those out passes. He wasn't rushed at all. He threw balls that were just way over the receivers' heads. I mean, the receiver couldn't even jump for him. That's how bad he was. Wow. But this game is going to be a good game. Play these guys. Play these Browns players, except for maybe Baker. You could go on a limb, maybe play him. Play Minshew. Play the Buccaneers. I think the Bucs are going to do much better. It's going to be an interesting second game of the season. Already there's been tests, COVID positives, so that's not good. It continues, people. It continues. Unfortunately, we are ruled by a virus. The whole world is, New Zealand, it was down to 0, and then suddenly it was like 9 or 15 people, and they shut down the whole city to make it 0 again. I mean, that's the only way to do it. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Hey, thanks for listening. Calvin Dean, Thursday Night Football, September 17th, 2020. Have a good one, people. Enjoy week 2.